You know, it's bad enough that Kevin W. Smith desecrated He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. Now, he's going after Star Wars to desecrate. Now, of course, he's a legit fanboy in this case, or somewhat. I mean, anyone who watched that History Channel documentary about Star Wars and its mythology being tied to the Joseph Campbell model of a hero's journey that came out back in 2007, and how it parallels with history, literature, mythology, scripture, etc. And Smith was among the talking heads on the documentary. So he would at least know, so he at least admits he's somewhat more of a Star Wars aficionado than he is a He-Man one. That being said, he cried at the events of The Last Jedi. This fucking pansy who desecrated an 80s icon of machismo and boyhood wet dream and boyhood fantasy to push a political agenda is now wanting to take the old horse that is Star Wars after it's already been maimed by shitheads like Kathleen Kennedy and Ryan Johnson further out behind the barn and finally pull the trigger. Bang! Killing Star Wars once and for all. He's really wanting to go there. My fellow Jedi, my fellow Americans, my fellow Star Wars enthusiasts, and I mean the Star Wars enthusiasts of the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and even the prequel films. This kind of shit cannot be tolerated. We need to make a stand, and we gotta do it now. Otherwise, if a new sequel trilogy comes out to retcon the one we have, not that that one's a good thing, it's a pile of shit. I mean, the Abrams-Johnson sequel trilogy is a pile of shit anyway, is a pile of shit to begin with. But if Smith comes along and makes one that's even worse, Star Wars will pretty much be dead on arrival. Because, like Kennedy, like Johnson, and to a lesser extent Abrams, they'll be pushing a political agenda. I mean, sure, you could say to some extent both the original and the prequel trilogies push the political agenda of diversity against uniformity. But here's the thing. That was done for the sake of unity. What they did with this, with the sequel trilogy, was done for the sake of dividing people. I mean, as divisive as the prequel trilogy was, it at least told a concrete story. It told us the complete and comprehensive, as sometimes awkwardly constructed as written and acted out as it was, the complete origin of Darth Vader. How he went from a slave, a crybaby 9-year-old slave named Anakin Skywalker, to a whiny Jedi teenager, Jedi Padawan, to a Jedi Knight who basically succumbed to his lust for power, took the Faustian bargain, and became a Dark Lord of the Sith, member of the Order of the Sith Lords. Lords dooming the galaxy for over 2 decades of tyranny. Or close to 2 decades of tyranny. I mean, when you make a sequel trilogy that makes the prequels look like a masterpiece, you've done some bad shit. You've done some pretty horrible shit when you do that. That being said, we need to rise up, Star Wars fans, and I mean the old school Star Wars fans. Those who grew up with the original cuts from the 70s and 80s of the original trilogy, the special ed cuts of the 90s like I did, and to a lesser extent the prequel trilogy like I did. We gotta destroy Hollywood. We must. To paraphrase Master Yoda, destroy Hollywood. We must. I will not let we will not let Kevin W. Smith taint Star Wars far more than what Disney already has. And even then, some would say that old horse is just about ready to be shipped off to the glue factory. Much as I hate to say it. If you like this rant, leave a comment, share it, right, on other social media platforms. Smash the like button, and subscribe to my channel. I'm done. Goodbye, and good night. Bang.